Here are the biggest transfer portal losers this season. The portal just wrapped up, and here are the teams that I think got affected in the worst way from the transfer portal. At 10, we have Tennessee, which kind of serves as an honorable mention because they had some positives in the portal. They did land Joey Aguilar, but the Nico saga automatically puts them in this list. At number 9, we have Ball State. They lost several big-time contributors, including a really exciting quarterback in Caden Simonza. So it's just a rough way to see a MAC team get ripped apart after showing off some talented players. At number 8, I have Maryland. People aren't talking about it as much, but they lost several starting offensive linemen in the transfer portal, and they're very thin at that position as a result. At 7 is South Alabama, losing Gio Lopez, losing some other key contributors. They had a lot go out the door without even losing their head coach. Just a tough portal exodus for them. They're going to have to try and navigate that this season. At 6, we have FIU, another team that was extremely talented, especially in the pass-catching department, but loses a lot of those guys and their top running back. Eric Rivers, probably the toughest blow FIU experience, a really talented team that has lost a lot. At number 5 and 4, we have Cal and Stanford from the ACC. Both got hit pretty hard, especially in the spring window. For Stanford, their window opened even earlier because they fired their head coach, which triggered that effect. They lose Emmett Mosley. They lose Bear Bachmeyer. Cal loses Jaden Ott. They lose all of their top pass catchers and their whole running back room, and they're just in a really rough position. So both of those schools, the California schools that are in the ACC, in a really rough spot this season. At number 3 is Troy. They got hit really hard. They had some very talented skill players that just got immediately snatched up, and a lot of their depth and young promising players that were built there by John Summerall really went out the door this offseason. At number 2, we have Washington State. The Cougars got hit really hard, specifically with their coaching staff, which as a result took a lot of their talented players away. Players like Chris Hudson and Carlos Hernandez and John Mateer, and Washington State is now really thin as a result. And finally, at number 1 is Marshall, one of those teams that lost 50 players in the transfer portal and just had a huge exodus hit them, with Charles Huff leaving, taking a lot of the players with him, and the other ones also leaving. They had to cancel their bowl game last year because of how many players had already entered the portal, and that's a trend that only continued for them. They are the biggest transfer portal losers.